the main event of the year, the most prestigious night in the world of bodybuilding.
Hello, athletes and fans of bodybuilding. Tarek El-Guindy with the Mr. Olympia. Today, we're going to have the final predictions for the Pittsburgh Pro. This is the moment where Linda Murray, Bob Cicherillo, they make their picks. They start their hostilities against some of the people they didn't pick, and they lose followers. Bob Cicherillo is an expert on it. I'm going to start this live with somebody who actually has won the Olympia 8 times.
Oh,
when
my.
I told Sean Ray and Bob Cicherillo that I was going to bring Linda Murray, 8-time Miss Olympia, Bob very courageously said, well, I know I'm going to be the secondary character, but that's okay. Sean Ray got scared and ran away. She is the one and only 8-time Miss Olympia, Linda Murray.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. I'll be in Pittsburgh this weekend, so I get to be there with all the action.
Yeah, and actually, Linda, I was talking to Tyler this morning. He said, do you think if we call Linda to do a guest posing, she would? I said, let's talk to Bob. Maybe Bob can surprise her.
I would certainly announce her. That would be an honor. And listen, she's in shape. Don't let her fool you, anybody. She can still go toe-to-toe with the best of them. But
oh, yeah. All right.
It'd be great to have you in Pittsburgh, and we can always use you as the beautiful the rose amongst thorns on the show.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll my posing suit is permanently in a case, so.
Well, as I always like to say, the only thing tougher than hanging up your trunks is fitting back into them.
Oh yeah, that's the truth, baby. I'm happy with the mic in my hand occasionally.
Very nice, very nice. I also would like to introduce the voice of bodybuilding, the master of ceremony for the Mr. Olympia, and he's also the 2000 Mr. USA's. He is going to be the master of ceremony for the Pittsburgh Pro. And man, if Nick Walker wins this show, Bob Cicherillo will never be the same.
And even though it's my good luck yank, I'll eat my hat if he wins the show. Okay, how about that? But listen, I've seen all the updated pictures. We'll get into it in just a few minutes. The one cool thing is it's a stellar lineup and a great show. This lineup probably better than the Arnold was earlier in the year, and that's always one of the standout shows. But Pittsburgh has really come up in its first year. They've expanded to an expo this year, as everybody knows, so there's plenty of other events, booths. All the superstars will be there, and a great lineup in this men's open for the inaugural Pittsburgh Pro. So I am really looking forward to this, and it's going to be a tough one, man. I can tell you that right now. That top 5 is stacked.
Stacked. Let me also introduce Hall of Famer bodybuilder, one of the greatest bodybuilders of all times. I don't care what Bob has to say. I consider him one of the greatest bodybuilders of all times. He's a national champion, Arnold Classic champion, Ironman champion, and he thinks in his mind he won the 94 Olympia. So we'll go with that. Sean Ray. How are you, Sean?
All right. How's it going, guys? What's happening, Ms. Olympia?
Oh, I'm great, Sean.
All right. It's been a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully I'll see you in Pittsburgh.
Yes, you will. I'll be there.
All right.
Very nice. Sean Ray driving through the streets of Hollywood with his Porsche 911.
I'm in a Tesla.
Oh, okay, well, still a nice car. Okay, Linda Murray, let's get down to business. Okay, who's winning the open bodybuilding? Can somebody beat Derek Lunsford, or it's game over? Bob is going to announce him as the winner. It's over. Or can somebody beat Derek Lunsford?
It's Derek Lunsford. He's going to win this. Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. He comes in amazing shape. You know, we just saw him at the Arnold, and I think he's comfortable. You know, he's at peace. So I'm going with Derek Lunsford.
Bob Ciccarillo, okay? Tell me that somebody can outdo Derek Lunsford at Pittsburgh.
Well, somebody could outdo him, but he's not competing, and that's Samson Dauda. He'll be there in attendance, but he's not competing, so he is off the list. This is Derek's show to win or lose. He is clearly the guy to beat. Former Olympia champ, Arnold Classic champ. We may have seen the best version of Derek at the Arnold, so he might just be getting better, and he's going to be probably in even better shape here. So the question isn't who's going to be first. The question is it's a 5-man race, literally for second place, and we'll get into that in just a few moments.
Sean Ray, since you like to be the polarizing figure in bodybuilding, is there anybody that can beat Derek Lunsford, or is game over? We're heading to Pittsburgh to celebrate his victory.
Well, I mean, listen, I was a part of history. I witnessed as we were at the GNC Pro Championships 1 week, I believe, after the Mr. Olympia, when Ronnie Coleman was supposed to pick up a $100,000 check, but Gunther Schlierkamp, who came from 5th place, had other ideas and slapped Ronnie right in the mouth. I think it can happen. I mean, these guys that Derek is up against are no slouches. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that Fitzwater is going the opposite direction. He showed very good flashes of maturity at last year's Olympia. He was guest posing 2 weeks ago with me out in St. Louis. He looks like he's heading in the right direction. Anything can happen on that stage. We're writing this in. I mean, this was supposed to be the easy payday for Derek. Derek's got a lot of pressure on himself. We've seen overconfidence get the best of better bodybuilders. It can happen. Nick has a lot to prove. This guy, what's the guy, Bob, that won the Brazil show? Arnold?
Good Vito.
Good Vito. And let me tell you, Good Vito looks like he's great Vito from that front double bicep I just saw.
This is not on paper, you could say Derek because of his pedigree and his track record. But I've been to shows where I've seen these upsets happen, man. And every once in a while they do. Mm-hmm. Ronnie Coleman included in 1998, winning the Mr. Olympia in New York. I was there.
Yeah. Coming out of ninth place to win the Olympia. You know, we were in Brazil and we only get the magazines. We used to get the magazines 3 months later. Yeah. And there was these rumors at the gym that Ronnie Coleman had won the Olympia, and everybody thought it was a big hoax. Like big hoax.
You know what's funny is nobody ever talks about 97 when he was ninth. And if you go back and you look at that show, Ronnie was overlooked. There's no way in this earth he should have been ninth place. When you go watch that tape and you see Ronnie Coleman now, listen, he wasn't anything special back then. He was a good bodybuilder. He came up short in most of the shows. He did okay. But in 98, I mean, he wasn't far off in 97 if you go watch. I think that guy should have probably been in the top 5 in the year before.
I would agree with you, Bob. And again, we can see that play over here in Pittsburgh. That's why I'm a little bit more skeptical and not writing this thing in, because I've witnessed things like that happen in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, you know, guys, I think that with Derek losing the Olympia to Samson and then showing up at the Arnold, winning the Arnold, he's probably at a little bit more, he's comfortable, not comfortable, but you know what I mean? He's already lost. So I think that makes a difference for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have that crazy pressure on him. He seems to be tranquil and relaxed. He made $500,000 at the Arnold. He made the previous year, it was $500,000 as well, right? 400, 500. And then this paycheck here is $100,000. So in about 18 months, this guy's going to come out with $1 million if he wins the show. That is a good payday for a bodybuilder. Samson is also over $1 million. Okay, let's move into second. Since all of you guys, have surrendered to Derek Lunsford and are not helping me in creating any controversy, who's placing second, Linda? Is it Martin, Nick, Great Vito, as Bob say? Who's placing second?
I'm going to go with Nick, and one of the reasons I know last year Nick faced Martin Fitzwater, and it was very close. So I believe that Derek Lunsford, when he threw his hat into the ring, I bet you Nick Walker stepped up his game. Like as far as just, those last, I don't know, what, six weeks of dieting, like when Derek Lunsford's competing, like this is serious business. So I believe I'm going to put Nick in second and Martin third.
Okay. Bob Chick, is your best friend Nick Walker placing second, or are you still against Nick Walker?
No, listen, who the F is Bob and who cares what he thinks? I mean, that's the bottom line. But I'll tell you who Bob is. Bob's the guy that will be announcing Martin Fitzwater in second place. Here's the bottom line, okay? Last year, close call in New York. I had it going Martin's way. It went Nick's way. That's fine. Listen, it's up to a preponderance of the judges, and that's the way they went. But half the people there thought it went the other way. That said, the improvements that Martin Fitzwater has made this past season has been phenomenal, just like he did the year before that got him a fourth place finish at the Olympia. What you're going to see here is the one thing that Martin needed, which was a little bit of thickness on that physique, and now it looks like he's got that. If he brings that conditioning that he had at the Olympia, he is a right-in for second place. I don't think he's got enough to beat Derek. As Sean said, anything can happen. He would need a little bit of help from Derek in order to achieve that, meaning Derek would have to come in off, but we've seen that. We're going to be splitting the hairs here, but I got Martin in a solid second. I think he's going to wow some people. I think his results are going to speak for themselves. The real battle to me is I think those two guys are pretty much 1-2. It's that third place finishing between Nick Krizo, Bonac, and Good Vito.
Hold on. We're going to get to that. Because I'm keeping scores, Bob.
Go ahead. I'm already undefeated, so keep all the scores you want. Yeah.
Sean, Linda, the first disagreement is between Linda, Murray, and Bob. Linda says Nick places second. Bob says Martin places second. Sean Ray, who places second?
I rarely agree with Bob. We're like night and day. Kind of like when we had the 1985 Team Nationals in Atlanta, where I had to slap him around for the overall title. But in this situation, I agree with him. I think right now that it's Martin Fitzwater's time. I was there. I was up close and personal 2 weeks ago in Missouri at Jack Tony's show, and I've been watching Nick carefully on his Instagram, where he's back to normal, posting his progress pics. Nick looks great for Nick. But I just think there's some structural advantages and some gifts that Martin Fitzwater has over Nick. Nick brings the freak wow factor. But I think, like at the Mr. Olympia, Martin showed that he may be the next big thing, and that right now youth is on his side. But I had Martin beating Nick at New York last year when Nick won his second New York Pro. I think what's going to happen is Fitzwater's going to beat him here in Pittsburgh, and we're going to see that rubber match in New York the following week, and that's where the rubber will hit the road. And I think I believe that I would have Fitzwater going 2 for 2 against Nick. Nick's going to struggle to get to that Olympia. That's my prediction based on what I've seen.
So Linda Murray said Martin is finishing third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do prefer. I prefer Martin Fitzwater's structure, his physique. When I first saw when he won the Detroit Pro, I thought, man, look at this athlete. Look at his structure. Look at his size. He has absolutely everything. I do agree with that. But I'm leaning towards Nick Walker. Nick has a lot to come back from because we haven't seen him because he was not at the Olympia after winning New York Pro. He didn't compete
It'll be a full
the
year.
last 2 years at the Olympia. So he has a lot to prove. He really does.
Yeah.
So let me qualify why, because everybody seems to think, me and Nick don't like each other. Listen, we're good buddies, and we go out and get lunch every Tuesday and all that. But the bottom line is, I don't dislike Nick. Okay, we're talking purely a bodybuilding show here. Forget about personalities. Forget about who likes who and who won what and whatever. The most important three things, which everybody seems to gloss over when they're doing reviews of the shows, which I get a real kick out of. They start right off the bat. Okay, front double bi. Let's check these guys out. Whoa, hang on a second. What happened to shape, symmetry, and proportion? The three most base foundational things in the world of bodybuilding itself. That's already 3-0. That goes against Nick. So he's already playing catch up. Nick will win 2 poses, and that's going to be from the side because he's a complete animal from the side. He's thick.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of muscle, and in the side chest and the side tricep, this guy's tough. And so he might win those 2. But that's only 2 poses. The front shots, the bread and butter shots. Okay, front double bi, front lat, back double bi, back lat. That's where the structure comes out, and that's where you're going to see the difference between the guys with better structure, shape, and symmetry, and Nick. And that's why I have him behind those guys. He's going to need a little bit of help from those guys, but he's going to have to come in his all-time best. But that's why I don't have him in second place.
Okay, so who do you have in third? Nick.
I would you got Nick Krizo, Bonac, and Good Vito. Now, Good Vito has shown, anybody that saw that double bicep the other day, by the way, which somebody quickly put up a comparison between Nick and Vito. Vito's killing him from that front. Now, listen, when they turn around, it's going to be a different story because Vito still needs a little bit of work from the back, and Nick's going to beat him from the back. So he's going to hold his own. I don't quite think he's there yet. Bonac and Krizo. Bonac, you can't sleep on Bonac. He's very consistent. He's still got a lot of muscle. He comes in conditioning. He's very, very consistent. So you can never count him out. And Krizo is a huge question mark. I tell you what, I know he's working with George Farrett, my old buddy from Rochester, and George knows what he's doing. But if you've seen the conditioning of Krizo, he's a freak. He has to improve, though. And if his back and his glutes and his hams have not come up, he will look absolutely phenomenal when he walks out there, but then he's going to lose from the back. The smart play would be to put Nick in third, but I think that's going to be a dogfight between those 3 guys.
Well,
4 guys.
Bob, I need an answer here. I know you're not in the fan club of Nick Walker, but like Linda Murray, she said Martin is going to finish in third. Who do you think is going to finish in third?
Nick. I'm going to put Nick in third. I'm going to give him he'll be in shape. He does bring the freak factor, but I think that he just has enough over those guys musculature-wise to take that third place spot. But I tell you this, it's going to be very close. It's going to be one of those flip the coins for third between those 4 guys.
Sean, who finishes in third?
I have Nick in third, a solid third, by the way. I think he beats Krizo. I think he beats Good Vito, and I think he beats Bonac. So the question is 4th and 5th. Not that it matters. Those guys that are in the 4th and 5th spot are going to have to regroup for New York. Now, I think Derek will shut it down. I think that it will be, again, Fitzwater and Nick Walker for that New York title, with Fitzwater with more to prove, trying to take it away from Nick. And if he does beat Nick in Pittsburgh and beats Nick in New York, I predict Nick won't be in the Mr. Olympia because he may qualify, but that would be his 3rd show, and then Olympia would be his 4th show. I think he'd run out of gas by the time October comes, and he'll be mentally defeated. So Nick has a lot to prove by trying to regain his New York title, but he's not going to qualify for the Olympia this weekend.
But you're saying, let me get this straight. Sean Ray is saying that if Nick Walker places third, goes to New York,
And gets
places second, and then he competes one more time, regardless if he wins or not, he would not make it to the Olympia because he would
That's my prediction. Yeah, I think he runs out of gas. I think he's mentally defeated. And if he wins some show like the California, Toronto, or wherever the heck he qualifies, it's another month on a diet. And, he struggled to get to the Olympia last year, ran out of gas, and it was only from May to October. He's going to be in the same boat, but he's going to have to peak again sometime in the month of June or July. And so I predict that if he does peak somewhere else, he probably wins. I think he wins California. I think he wins over in one of those miscellaneous shows. But when the Olympia comes around and he's been beaten a couple of times, I don't think he even winds up going to the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sean. Great point, because I know when I see an athlete and when they miss 2 Olympias like in a row, even though it's because of an injury, because at the end of the day, it's all about smart training. I don't know all of the details, but that's a red flag for me when I'm like, if I'm the current champion and I know this person's, whatever the story is, I agree with you 100%. Like, it's so important. He's going to be running out of gas.
I have here a question for you, Bob, from one of our fans.
Shoot.
Bob, you just named 2 poses Nick will win, but then you only mentioned 2 that he will lose on. Nick will also win the back lat spread and the front lat spread. Just name a couple more.
No, he ain't. He's not winning those. Listen, again, he's formidable from the side. From the front and the back, he suffers because, again, his proportions are not great. The taper isn't as good as it should be. God forbid we should use a letter to illustrate that. I'll get the death threats again. Listen, Nick's going to have his work cut out. Good veto is no joke, okay? The kid's got a lot of muscle, and structurally, listen, he's no worse than Nick when it comes to structure, okay? He's not the best either, but he's very comparable. The star of the show might be Krizo, and I say that for one good reason. He's been off for a while. I know he had to get some surgery. I think it was on his shoulder. He got that fixed up, which clearly his training's been going well. But this guy has more muscle than anybody on that stage. He's a tall guy at probably 5'11" or 6 foot tall. I know he's up there. He had 2 things to fix. He needed more thickness to his back, more width, and he needs way more in the glute and hamstring area from the back. His legs from the front are very good. So this guy, if he brings in, listen, you can't discount George because George knows his stuff. This guy's going to be in shape. Everybody saw the pictures the other day. Nobody's even close to him conditioning-wise. So if he fixes those areas, he will be a guy that might surprise some people. But the star of the show, like Sean said earlier, it could be Martin, whether he wins or loses, because this is going to establish, can he stand next to Derek and be competitive? Keep in mind, he was 4th place at the Olympia. If he comes in 10%, 15% improved in here, does that give him any leeway at the Olympia to try to get ahead of Hadi or Samson or Derek, however they should come in?
So, Bob, we can move to Classic, but we got your top 3. We got everybody's top 3. You think the surprise of the show out of the top 3 is Krizo, correct?
I think Krizo can, I think he's a dark horse. We haven't seen him on stage this past year. Again, he's got the fundamentals. He's got everything there. He just needs thickness. If he accomplished that, he's going to surprise and he's going to beat some people that I don't think people are. I think people are counting him out a little bit too early. But he towers over these guys, and that goes a long way in pro bodybuilding. So I think Krizo is a guy to keep your eye on. Like I say, unless Derek comes in off, he's clearly the guy to beat. But if he, like Sean said earlier, stranger things have happened. And Derek has to be on. If he's not on, that door is open. He can get beat.
Yeah, and conversely, I think Nick has some confidence knowing that he had to watch Fitzwater get 4th in the Olympia.
Yeah.
Having beaten him earlier in the month of May, thinking that should have been him. Had Nick been in the Olympia, where I believe he was as high as 3rd at one time.
Yeah.
Nick, knowing that he's beaten Fitzwater, may feel he can beat him again. And if Nick does beat Fitzwater, in New York, because I think they both are going to get beat by Derek, but in New York, the following week, Nick wins. He's qualified. I think Fitzwater's already qualified, correct?
Yeah.
So So they both would shut it down in New York, and then it's a sprint to the Olympia for the rubber match. But again, the one with the most pressure and the most to prove is Nick Walker.
Now, Sean, Linda, Bob thinks that we got the top three, but he thinks Michael Krizo is going to be the dark horse, that he's going to make an appearance and impress people. Out of those top three, Sean Ray, who do you think can be that fourth guy that impresses us, that we can say, okay, he didn't get to the top three, but that's a hell of a bodybuilder competing against great bodybuilders?
Well, that Good Vito is the one that caught my eye. I mean, he showed some stuff I didn't see on him before. I mean, Krizo will stand out because of his side, but he will quickly fade and disappear. He's got a very long neck. He's got very small, petite glutes in relationship to the rest of his body. You'll start to be able to pick him apart as he stands in the relaxed pose, as he compares with shorter bodybuilders that will expose his longer limbs. He'll look like he needs more size because he's so tall, and he's going to be the biggest guy in the lineup, but he's going to still look, I think, small. He's going to need more size because Derek at 5'6" looks like he's 250 pounds, whereas Krizo is going to need to look like he's 350. So we're going to see some things in the transition that Krizo can't hide. When you hit a most muscular shot, you can bunch up, but when you stand back up, you're going to see how long the arms are, how long and slender the legs are, how thin the back is, how long the neck is. Krizo's weaknesses will get exposed by the shorter bodybuilders because they're all short by comparison. But Good Vito looks thick. He looks chunky. He looks very meaty. So I'm curious to see what kind of condition he shows up in, because we're not in Brazil anymore. We're going to be all the way in Pittsburgh, and those plane flights can make you hold water.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference. I'm when it comes to that, I don't know a lot about Krizo, but I do. As soon as Bob said his height, that he's 5'11", first thing I thought is, it reminds me of when we looked at Wesley Vissers up against Matthew Grego, and then the longer they're there and they're posing, it's like you see that the shorter bodybuilder with the density and the width versus the height just wins.
Well, it's going to be incredible. Obviously, I did Olympia News today. I don't think it's just about winning. If Derek wins the show, is how he wins the show.
Yeah.
If he wins convincingly, he obliterates the competition. He's got to be considered the favorite to win the Olympia. If he doesn't win convincingly, it's a one-point decision, Martin squeezes him, Nick Walker or whoever, then we kind of got to go back to Samson. If he loses the show, then, man, I think Samson celebrates, and Hadi Choopan is the one that benefits the most, because he goes, these guys don't know what's going on. I'm resting in Iran. I'm going to come in and just scoop them out of the business. So it's how Derek performs. If he wins by a little bit, or if he loses, that's going to be quite telling about what will happen at the Olympia.
Well, what's going to be telling about the Olympia and Hadi, that whole travel thing for Hadi is going to be probably the storyline of the Olympia. Forget about what Hadi's capable of looking like. The bigger issue is going to be whether he can travel.
Through that, Tarek, to your point, and I've been saying this since the beginning, let's assume that travel is okay. Let's hope. Again, you hate to see athletes like Hadi Choopan and Behruz Tabani, who again had a nice lead on getting here this year finally, as this poor guy's qualified twice over, not being able to travel. Let's assume that they can travel and they're going to get here. The smartest guy in the room might just be Hadi Choopan, because while he's watching all these guys beat each other up and staying on the gas and dieting and putting themselves out there in terms of Samson and Derek and whoever else, he's back there training. I mean, he's only getting ready for the Olympia. I predict right now, and I said this last week on one of the shows, I think you might see the best Hadi Choopan that you've ever seen this year for that reason. And that's going to make him really dangerous to get that title back. Derek is in uncharted waters. I know he said he likes to compete. Samson said the same thing. I just talked to Samson in Mexico. He said he has no regrets about going in the Arnold. He says, look, I consider it like another game. You're not going to win every game, no different than any other sport. So he's still Mr. Olympia. He's still the champion that has to get taken out on game day. So good for him for that champion's attitude. But the question does loom, and a lot of the past champs have said this back in Sean's era especially, from Ronnie to Jay to Dexter to anybody back then. It's very, very difficult to peak 2 or even 3 times in one calendar year. And the bigger the guy, the harder it is.
Well, that's a point. That's a good point, Bob. Let's move into classic physique. We got a name that we haven't seen in a while. He's an incredible poser, Terrence Ruffin. Terrence Ruffin has won the Dubai show. He has won the Arnold Classic. He placed second to Chris Bumstead twice. He's here in Pittsburgh to win the show. We also have Josema, the competitor from Spain that's 22, 23 years old. He was extremely hyped on the internet, and then he came to the Olympia, and he gets a first call out, and he's right next to Chris Bumstead, and he looks massive, huge. He's in Pittsburgh. Then we got this guy, Kaique de Oliveira, who's got millions and millions. It's like the new Ramon, right? The new Brazil guy is Kaique. I just did a live with him. We had 3,000 people watching it, and he looks like he has fibers and fibers. He looks insane. He's going to be at the show. Now, one guy nobody is talking about him is a national champion. I mean, I repeat, this guy won the national champion, Anton Ratushinio. He won the national champion, and he is impressive. That's his pro debut. I want to start with you, Linda Murray. Is Terrence Ruffin the clear favorite? How do you like these other guys?
For me, Terrence Ruffin, my clear favorite. I don't know enough about the others. I do know of Kaique, but I'm going to go with Terrence Ruffin. He's had at least 3 years, a 3 years break. He's experienced.
No, not that long.
Not that long.
Maybe going into the second year, but I know he did take some time off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go with Terrence Ruffin.
Okay. Bob, who's your favorite? Is it Terrence? Does Kaique or Josema have a...
Oh, you still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
We lost you there for a second. This is a tough one. Great to see Terrence back, Rough Diesel. Great physique, phenomenal poser, by the way. Probably the best in the business today, right there with Logan Franklin. These two guys can pose like nobody's business. And I look forward to that because it's the very essence of classic and classic physique. That said, Terrence is one of the smallest people I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, Sean, you can you'll remember this guy, but Francis Benfato years ago was about the same size, and he was just a really such a small person. But man, when those clothes come off, I mean, these guys just light up that stage, and it's all about smoke and mirrors on stage. So, looks like Terrence is put on a little bit of muscle. He's still a little weak downstairs, especially from behind. You know, he doesn't have the biggest of legs, especially from the rear, but he does have a very classical physique. But he's got his hands full. Josema, I don't even know how to say his name, but I'm going to figure it out quick before he gets on stage. This guy's phenomenal. I mean, he is put together. And Kaique, wow, talk about an anatomy chart. I haven't seen detail like that probably since Andres Munzer and those. You talk about that. Remember, Sean, you'll remember this. You remember Hamdullah?
Hamdullah, yes, out of Austria. Hungary, Turkey.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Yeah, out of Turkey. Anybody want to do some research? I tell you want to see that guy. He had lines. I haven't seen detail like that since him. You're talking back to the 80s. We've had some guys in condition, but holy crap, this guy. And he's put together well. So I think because of the size difference, because both those guys are going to tower over Terrence, it's a 3-man equal race to me as to who can win this title between these guys.
Well, I'm with Linda. I mean, I like Terrence, but I just think he's going to come up and he's going to be the Sean Ray factor. He's going to be too little, too small, look really phenomenal by himself, and we're all going to love that look. And he's going to stand up next to these two bigger, younger guys. And you're going to go, holy crap, like what happened to Terrence? Terrence will turn around from the rear. He'll disappear from the waist down, and the posing will be memorable, but the posing ain't going to get it done. These guys are two young, hungry lions, and we're gonna go look at the size difference, look at the
Mm.
thickness difference, and we're gonna be thinking thickness, conditioning, height, and that's all gonna weigh in favor of those two gentlemen. And Terrence is gonna be kind of lost in that lineup. I've been there. I know what it's like to kind of disappear amongst guys that are just taller and a little bit too big.
Wow.
And mind you, remember, Linda, this happened to Danny Hester when he originally won the Classic. This happened, I believe, to Sean Clarita when we saw what Keon Pearson has been doing in that 212 division. He's getting the smaller, more proportionate guys are getting beaten by the bigger, more fuller, standout, thicker guys. And right now,
Wow.
classic physique is leaning towards those 5'11", 6-foot guys,
Yeah.
and making chop liver out of the smaller, more proportionate guys.
Yeah, because look at Kaiki here. I mean, this is my first time seeing his legs.
This is Hosema. This is Hosema right here.
Oh, this is Jose. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Right.
I might have to take it back, Terrence. Terrence
but
Ruffin.
I
I'm
sympathize.
sorry. I mean, looking at this guy right here, this is hey,
The
listen.
thickness is the
We
thickness
need
in
someone like
muscle.
that to step in. This guy looks amazing.
Terrence is gonna look phenomenal by himself.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna stand him next to these younger guys, these thicker guys, and you're gonna go, okay, Terrence needs more calves, Terrence needs more hams, Terrence needs more thickness. And to Bob's point, Terry Pastel had the same Francis Benfato like effect.
Yeah.
Slider on the size, but by himself looked like the champion.
Wow.
Yeah. If you blew Terry Pastel up to 5'10", he would have won 10 Olympias. That guy was put together, man. But you're right. It's hard to give up. Sean, you were there. I mean, it is very hard to give up that much size in bodybuilding at that level. And these guys, as you can see, they're no joke. I mean, Josema and Kaiki are so close. That's why I say these two are going to kind of separate themselves from the pack because they are very comparable in terms of height, size, structure, beautiful physiques. They both pose very well. That's going to automatically take Terrence out. He's going to be the odd man out in those two, and they're going to tower over him. So those two, I think, are going to fight to the death and a finish and a 1-point decision at the end of the night.
Yeah, look at this guy's his chest. His chest development across the board. My God.
He's full.
Yeah, and he's full. Yeah, I got to take that back, Terrence. I love you.
Sorry, Terrence.
Sorry.
I think Terrence wins as the best poser, if there's any consolation for that. And he's probably going to have the prettiest physique on the stage. But that's not going to be enough to pull out the W, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's going to be, I'm telling you, I know the bodybuilding is the main course, but the classic is going to be really good. Can Terrence Ruffin hold off the two upcoming stars, Kaiki de Oliveira and Hosema? We're going to find out this weekend. Men's physique, Brandon Hendrickson and Aaron Banks.
There we go.
Then you have Edivan Palmeira, you have Vitor Chavez, you have some other guys. But the story is Brandon Hendrickson versus Aaron Banks. Who do you got, Linda Murray?
Between those two physiques, I'm going to go with Brandon. How long has Brandon been off?
But
off the stage for, well, not at the Olympia. I don't remember him at the Olympia last year.
No.
Brandon, I love Brandon's structure. I'm going to say better than Aaron Banks. Aaron's taller. Brandon has an amazing package.
Yeah, I like Brandon as well. I watched him win down in China. I watched him win the Olympia. I believe he won the Arnold Classic as well. Aaron Banks is very decorated as well. He's a little bit taller, but I think Brandon's tight. And I think right now I'm leaning more towards Brandon Hendrickson's comeback.
Yep, definitely.
I agree with both my constituents. I think Brandon just has that look. I didn't have Brandon losing to Aaron the other year, to be quite honest. I had him winning. Nothing against Aaron Banks. I just think that Brandon's a little bit more structurally put together. Aaron's a little bit taller and leaner, especially in the legs. But Brandon's put together, man. A battle of the Mr. the Olympia champions. So I'm going to go with Brandon. I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's a gimme, but and I don't think I've ever seen Brandon coming off. So I mean, his consistency is one of his keys. But hard to beat that physique, man.
What's funny is I'm watching the evolution of the physique, what the guys do, all those little extra movements and those different nuances to hit the exact same quarter turn or the back shot. There's a lot going on with these two guys, and they have a lot to prove against each other. So I think they're going to bring out the best of each other. But I just like Brandon's package a little better.
Thank God they're not wearing pajama bottoms, so we can still see their physique outline.
Yeah. Well, the men's physique started in 2011, and it was front and back, and now it's about 74 transitions.
Yes.
So on behalf of every judge on the IFBB Pro League, we beg you guys to go from 74 transitions to 31. If you guys can do that for us, so we can see our families, that would be great.
Listen, and let me take this moment, Tarek, because I know you can't say this as a judge, but I can certainly say it, guys. It's a front and the back pose. Right? Technically speaking, just like bikini, okay, there is no routine. You guys have made a routine, and I'm all for it. That's cool. Right? You put a little style and put your own little flair and your personality into it. But for the love of God, man, get to the pose. All those little things in between and the little twerks and the posing and the stirring the pot and all that stuff. All the judges are doing is tapping a pencil, waiting for you to turn around. So I get it, but word to the wise, men's physique and bikini as well. I know we haven't talked about bikini yet. Get to the damn pose.
I agree.
And Bob, as a judge, if you get to your pose, then you give yourself more chances for us to actually look at your best pose, right? These transitions are not your best pose. Right. We're just waiting for you to present your best pose, your front pose and your back pose. I remember we were in trouble when I saw some NPC competitors coming in and doing the profit thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I said, this is going to be a journey, but it's okay. We love you guys. Just hit your front and back pose. That will help you in the judging. It will be more effective. Now, bikini. Wow. Maureen Blanquisco is back. And she's got some pictures on the internet. It looks like she's back with a vengeance. Amy Delgado placed second at the Arnold twice. She's so pissed. I mean, I feel sorry for her husband. I know him very well, but she did not want to get second again. She took second to Laura Lee and now second to Vanya August. Then we have Ivy Eskandar, who wins a lot of shows. Ariana Brothers, who just won a show right now. We have the Master Olympia champion, Jessica Wilson. Linda Murray. This girl is back. She's the only one there with an Olympia title. Can anybody beat Maureen Blanquisco?
I think with bikini, it just depends on what that athlete shows up like on that day. And I'm going to say that with Amy Lee, she's gone through a lot this year. She, like you said, she placed second at the Arnold. She looked great. So Maureen is fresh. I know Maureen, she did not make the Olympia last year. She qualified for the Olympia. Amy's a favorite in Pittsburgh. She's won Pittsburgh Pro, I believe, twice. But I'm going to go with Maureen Blanquisco. She's fresh. It really depends. It just depends on that athlete and how they show up on that day, because both of them have absolutely beautiful physiques. I know Amy's, she's like angry because she plays second. Not angry. I'm not going to say she's angry. I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to go with Maureen.
Okay, Bob Chick, you know them well. You've announced Maureen Blanquisco as the Olympia champion.
Yep.
Amy Delgado, she's won plenty of shows. She won Pittsburgh and she won New York. And I think she's twice New York Pro champion. She placed 2 times second to Arnold. Can she challenge Maureen Blanquisco, or do you see anybody else going after Maureen?
She would definitely be the number one contender. She's deservingly so. Yes, she can challenge Maureen. That's my girl. I got to have her. She's the girl to beat. She's the champ, former Olympia champion. She brings a hell of a package to that stage. I got to give a big shout out to Jessica Will. Jessica is a Masters competitor, and she is very much in the mix in the Open still, and that's to be applauded. Much in the same vein as a Ashley Kaltwasser. You don't get it a lot, but we talk about the Dexter Jacksons of the bodybuilding world. These girls are in that same type of conversation where they've been around for a while and they're a little bit older as it comes to bikini. They're competing against girls almost half their age, so good for them. Still representing. You got to give it to Maureen Blanquisco. It's hers to win or lose, but she will be challenged and pushed the whole way by Amy. I did talk to Jim Mannion the other day, Tarek, and I got a formal announcement here. In the event of a unlikely tie, we will be going to Bikini sudden death.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is that when the top comes off, or what?
You don't want to know, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Maureen also, she's just very smooth on stage. Her presentation is really flawless. Amy has a great presentation also, but we interviewed Maureen and she explained how comfortable she is on stage, like that she does not get nervous. She said,
yeah, Maureen Blanquisco is she wins the Olympia and she's the same person. She places second. She's the same person. I don't think she puts any pressure on her. Sean Ray, who do you have winning the bikini?
Well, I mean, Maureen's one of the few bikini girls that I actually follow, so I know what she looks like and what she's doing, and I know her pedigree. The other girls are pace cars on the racetrack. This is Maureen's show to lose. She's been to the mountaintop and she's sat on the sidelines and watched, and I think she knows how important a victory here would be for her to get back to that Olympia lineup. And from what I've seen on her Instagram, I mean, I only follow about 160 people. She's one of them, and everything I see that she puts out looks phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to seeing her. I don't know who she's going to stand next to, but they're going to have to go through her to win.
Well, okay. Well, some of you competitors, bikini competitors, hopefully you can make a name for yourself beating Maureen Blanquisco, and maybe Sean Ray will start following you.
160? Oh my God.
Can 160 people, Sean? I mean, can you add a little bit more?
Well, I mean, I follow people that interest me. Linda, you're one of them. Bob, you're lucky I put you on there. Tarek, I think I'm following you. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't even know.
Tarek, you don't even go by your name on Instagram, do you?
Yeah, my name is Tarek Ogindi on Instagram. So listen,
I must be spelling it wrong. I can't find you.
Oh, okay. Well, I clearly
Give me an invite.
I clearly have not made an impact on Sean Ray's life,
Send me
but
an
I hope
invite.
to do that before I die. I'm not one of the people he follows,
I can't
but
spell
that's
your name
okay.
right.
Here's the question. Linda Murray, Bob Chick, and Sean Ray. Do you guys follow Lola Montez? She's top 3 at the Olympia. She's actually sponsored by Mutant. I mean, you do know Mutant, right, Sean?
Absolutely. She's a badass. She's
a badass.
I got to know her story. She kind of came to this industry as a life-saving venture from a not so pleasant childhood growing up and being a single mom, but she is next in line. And they're gonna have to go through her to get that victory. Her calves are ridiculous. She looks like Linda Murray light. She looks every much of an athlete in a bikini. She looks like she can go out and run a 100-yard sprint, jump in the pool, do 100 meters. I mean, she looks like an athlete. She's legit. She's next in line.
Oh yeah,
Linda,
I agree.
Can Nicole Zenobia beat her? Can Natalia Sotero, the experienced Natalia Sotero, beat her? or this is Lola Montez's show to lose?
I think it's Lola Montez's show to lose. It's
agree.
her show to lose. I did not know that she was planning on competing in Pittsburgh. You know, she's quiet on Instagram. She's not like one that you see a lot of her posts. I know she's a mom and she just lays low. She's won my show in Norfolk, I believe twice. But she has been very, very consistent. There's no question about it. She's coming. She's always in great shape. So I feel like it's Lola's show to lose.
Bob Ciccarillo. We got Lola Montez. We got Nicole Zenobia. We got Natalia Soltero. We have Jennifer Zinnert. We have Lena Remsteiner. Can somebody defeat Lola Montez?
She's going to be tough. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl, but that was 20 years ago, and now she's a bigger pro. So, listen, top 3 Olympian. She is put together like a brick shit house, okay? This chick is put together. A lot of muscle. You know, there's a big opening right now because the 8-time champ has called it a day. So these girls that have been second, third place, they're hungry for a win. You're going to have to go through her. This is Lola's show to win or lose. However, that said, Nicole Zenobia and Natalia Soltero are also very good. They are very put together. In this instance, I think it's going to be Lola's to win or lose. If she brings what we're expecting her to bring, I would be surprised if she got beat, but Nicole Zenobia is no joke. I mean, none of these girls are. They're all very good. So we'll see how it plays out. She's never really come in off, but she has the best structure out of all the girls that you're showing. And that's, listen, in a division called figure, I think that should always be first and foremost, right? Which is why Sydney was such a killer on stage, because she didn't have to be the most conditioned. She didn't have to be the most anything. But when she walked out there and just stood there, she was phenomenal. And that's what figure should be about, is standing there and looking phenomenal without doing anything.
Yeah. And Lola would have to come in, not be in shape, you know, and I've never seen her not be in shape. She's already... She's proven she's comfortable. She's beaten Natalia Soltero. She's beaten Nicole Zenobia. She's been very consistent. I believe her top 3 for I don't know how many. She's been at the Olympia 4 times. She's qualified. She has to just come not be in shape.
I saw
she's
her
going to be
January.
in shape. I don't see her not being in shape.
I saw her in January at the Fit Expo, and I thought she was competing that weekend.
Right.
And here we are. Now we're in the month of May, and here's the contest. She's going to be something else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yes. She's placed top 3 at the Olympia. She's an incredible competitor. And a lot of people think, and they agree, that she could be the next one in line. We have here Robert Scafidi. The figure division is the best show outside of the Olympia in years. Lola, Natalia, Zenobia, Adela, Jennifer, and Lena make this an epic show. We have here Isabel Terrell, Fit Rock Star, one of my best friends. Maureen and Amy will be a battle. Yes, I agree. We have lots of fans here. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to Olympia TV. We're getting close to 500,000 subscribers, guys. 500,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to Olympia TV. This is where we get the best people. We're just not a YouTube channel full of speculation. We actually get people that have won the Olympia, people that have been in the sport for 40, 50 years. That's the competitive advantage. And that's why we are the most respected bodybuilding channel in the industry. I want to go in with women's physique. Okay, this girl here, she's doing the show. She's top 2 in the world. She has won the Olympia. I know we got Sharonica Hinton. She won the New York Pro. I was there. Bob, you were there. We interviewed her. We got Barbara Minaj. She's placed 4th at the Olympia. I was judging in Vancouver. She won the show. But this girl is in the show. Can somebody beat Dr. Natalia Coelho?
Absolutely not. Not happening. Her show, former Olympia champ, miles ahead of everybody else, with all due respect to everybody else. But she's at a different level. It's that simple. It's unless Sarah herself was in the show, and then these two can go battle again. And I suspect we'll be seeing them battling for a few more years. It's a great Ali and Frazier type battle. You like to see a couple of athletes that are around for 4, 5, 6 years battling and going back and forth. Sarah's been got a couple of up on her right now, but Natalya brings that combination, man. She's in shape. She's put together well. In this case here, she's definitely in the winner's circle, and everybody else is fighting for second.
Absolutely. Linda Murray, what is your opinion?
I 100% agree with Bob. I mean, no question about it. We know these athletes, and I know Natalya, and Natalya lives and breathes bodybuilding. She is so disciplined on her diet. Her mom always says to me, can she take a break? Can she just eat something, bad? And she's just so on point in every way. So no question, I love Sharonica. And I absolutely, as far as Barbara, Sharonica gets better and better. Barbara, always on point, but it's going to be tough to beat Natalya. Natalya would have to not be in shape, and that's not happening.
Sean, do you agree?
Well, I don't think we've ever seen Natalya not in shape. I mean,
No.
Arguably could have beaten
Correct.
Sarah. Arguably could have beaten Sarah in head-to-head competition had things gone the other direction. So she is. This contest was designed for her. If she's in the show, everybody has to beat her. So there's no pressure here. It's not an Olympia title, but I guarantee you she'll show up looking like she did at the Olympia.
Yeah, she is one of the most consistent competitors. But right now we got the wellness. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a background on the wellness.
Okay.
We have the top 6, top 7, top 8, and top 9 at the Olympia doing the show. Okay? So we have a sequence of girls. Lisa Menskell from Germany is in the show. Haiane Fogal from Brazil, she has placed top 4 at the Olympia. She's in the show. Cassandra Gillis, she's won the Arnold Classic. She has just won 2 shows. She won with me in Vegas and Vancouver. She's doing the show. And then Leonida Chobu from Moldova, she's in the show. So I want to start with Cassandra Gillis, because Cassandra Gillis is literally on fire right now.
Canada. Isn't she Canadian? I believe she's Canadian.
She's Canadian.
She's a mutant athlete also.
Follow her? Do you follow her?
I don't, but I don't remember, but she's a Canadian athlete, I believe, too, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yeah,
Listen, Tarek, Sean, out of the 161 he follows, 151 are bikini athletes. So I'll let you know.
Not even the wellness girls make it. It has to be bikini.
Without pictures, we can't even talk about wellness. So this one I know, and she's deadly. She's dangerous, and I'm voting for her.
Well, look, North-South Fit right here. Nice tattoo. I like that. Looking forward to seeing Cass, Lisa, and Haiane. Bob, you know Cassandra Gillis very well.
I do.
Is she the favorite to take this wellness title?
She's she is a veteran of the wellness stage. She's done very well. She's won a lot of shows, and she's got a look that just encapsulates what wellness is. So she's going to be difficult to beat. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. The girl from Brazil.
Haiane Fogal.
Yeah, she is also going to be very good and very tough. So those two are probably going to be your top 2. And Leonida, I think it is.
Yes.
Leonida Chobu.
Tiobu, yeah, she gets in shape. I tell you, all 3 of these girls are front runners. But I would put probably Cassandra as the one to beat. She's coming off of this. She just won something, didn't she? Like last week or the week before.
Correct. Cassandra Gillis won with me in Vegas this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Went to Vancouver and she won there. This is Haiane Fogal. She's from Brazil. Haiane is a bit thicker on the legs. She's got those quads. You know what I mean? She's got those big quads. If Chris Cormier had those quads, maybe he would have won something in his life.
100%.
You can see Haiane Fogal is a bit fuller than Cassandra Gillis.
Yeah. Cassandra Gillis, she fits in. She's in alignment with what we see in our top three in wellness with our previous winners. Trying to think of all of the names. This young lady here fits more in with our current Ms. Olympia champion that was just defeated at the Arnold. Would you say maybe she's a little bit taller than our current Ms. Olympia champion?
Correct. And I'm going to mention also from Moldova, Leonida Chobu. She is a great competitor. Right here, we see her here. She's a great competitor. And, you know, she can surprise a lot of people. Now, what most people don't know is that all of them, they placed behind Lisa Mensko from Germany. And she might be the one with less hype going into the show, but she actually placed ahead of them at the Olympia. I got a shot of her here. Let me look at this. Full glutes. She is from Germany, and she's top 6 in the world. She could very well make a name for herself, win the show, and start being speculated to be right there in the Olympia top 5.
Wow, look at those glutes.
You got to give her. I mean, she's put all these girls are just put together. You can tell they work extremely hard. One thing is for sure, it's going to be a great lineup. And these girls work hard. Nobody's half-assing it up there on the wellness division.
Absolutely. They're all fantastic competitor. Lisa Mindskill. It's going to be a great show. Now, before we finish, I want to know from you guys, okay, what are your expectations? We got, you know, I love Pittsburgh. It's a beautiful town, right? I've been to many places in the world, and Pittsburgh is one of the most underrated towns in America. I love the river. I love downtown Pittsburgh. Obviously, is the headquarters for the NPC and the IFBB Pro League, but it's also a beautiful town. And I know the president, Jim Mannion, Tyler, Robin Ching, everybody really wants to make this special. They want to make this a celebration of bodybuilding, of the organization. Some of us that are judges or officials, we're going to meet on Friday, and we're going to have a meeting, a dinner, and it should be a nice celebration for us. And obviously, but Linda, you know, this is turning out to be quite special, more than just a show, but a celebration of bodybuilding. Are those your expectations?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to look at the many years. I believe Jim Mannion, he's been doing this for 50 years, and he's known for all of the athletes. And Sean and Bob, you guys remember this. The athletes, the fans that live in Pittsburgh, they're used to seeing us show up and be on stage, but be out of shape. Now they're putting $200,000, I believe, in total in prize money.
I think it's over. It's 400,000.
Yeah, 400,000 plus adding an expo. Yeah. So that's going to be, I mean, they're going to show up. The NPC athletes is going to be packed. I think it's just can only get better without question.
And Bob, you know everything about the history of bodybuilding. You're going to be the MC of the first Pittsburgh Power and Fitness. I mean, this has to feel special to you, even though you've done a lot, but it looks like more than a show, correct?
Well, it's definitely more than just a regular show, because Derek Lunsford himself has come out saying that he considers it part of the, quote, triple crown of bodybuilding. So you can see how much stock even somebody of Derek's stature has put into this, being at the Arnold, he's won. He's doing Pittsburgh now, and then obviously off to the Olympia, and he's hoping to reclaim that title. So the athletes have put a lot of stock into this show. It's always been a special show because it was always in Jim's backyard. And for many years, it was held at the Soldiers and Sailors Auditorium, a stage that actually Jim himself was on back in the early 70s, winning that coveted Mr. Pittsburgh. So, Jim is beyond the mayor. Trust me, he owns Pittsburgh, and I look at this show very much as a legacy to Jim. I think it's more than a show. I think it celebrates his legacy in the bodybuilding industry, and I think that's why him and Tyler and Robin and I know Bob Lorimer's involved have all put together their best to make this an expo. It's been blown up 10 times what it was as a Pittsburgh Pro. So this is going to be a hell of a hell of an event. It's a first-year event, and like with any first-year event, there's always some growing pains because you've got to build it. And even though the Pittsburgh's been around for many, many years, it's never been in an expo form. So I know everybody's working extra hard. Big shout out to JM, Debbie, Cassie, who's in the office. She's behind the scenes, but believe me, her and Teresa are working hard, trying to keep thousands of athletes accounted for and all the paperwork straight. So it's going to be a who's who. Everybody's going to be in Pittsburgh. Which is great because this is at the 6-month mark, I believe we will be to the Olympia. So if there's a time to be out there, getting content, getting interviews, getting a check on who's qualifying for this year's Olympia, this is the place to be. All eyes will be on Pittsburgh this weekend.
Sean Ray, you've been in the business since 1943. You know everybody. You're a great historian of bodybuilding. Tell us, what does this mean to you, this celebration of bodybuilding in Pittsburgh, the headquarters of the Pro League and the NPC?
You're right. I mean, I've been at it a long time. First time I got on an airplane to go to an NPC competition was in 1984 in Detroit, Michigan, hometown of our 8-time Ms. Olympia, the Powerhouse Gym franchise, the Davish family.
We were there.
Samir Banu, Ron Love, John Simmons. The reigning Ms. Olympia, Andrea Shaw. That was the first time I got on a plane to go to an NPC show. This is the first time in all of those years from 1984 to 2025, I bought a plane ticket on a weekend that I have to spend at home with my family and friends to go to a bodybuilding show. So I went and bought my plane ticket, booked my hotel room, and I will be there just to recognize what Jim Mannion has decided to build. I mean, this is what his legacy will be when he's no longer here. He had the show at Sailors and Salem. What is it? Sailors and Salem?
Yeah, Soldiers and Sailors.
Now it's at the convention center. Finally, now there's $100,000 bodybuilding prize that he's giving. He's still got the multiple stars guest posing, including the reigning Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
But this is like the Academy Awards for bodybuilders. Everyone's coming. Ronnie Coleman will be there. Everybody that I know that's anybody is going to be there because of Jim Mannion. Not because he's giving away $100,000 or $400,000, but because Jim is finally leveled up, and this is what we've been waiting for. So I'm spending my weekend that I could be home doing nothing, preparing for the Olympia. Instead, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh to be with my colleagues and to bear witness to what Jim is now built and Tyler's now inheriting, and the entire Mannion family is showing their gratitude to the athletes. So I got to be there to witness part of that.
Bro, you know who else will be there is 161 of your closest friends that you follow.
Yeah, everybody's
That's
going
right. So it's going to be some kind of reunion.
Yeah.
Well said.
I guarantee you after this show, he's going to amplify his following base. He's a hard one.
I'm adding Tarek.
He is a hard one to convince, but with great deal of effort, we can all conquer. Guys, I was not a legend or a superstar or a great competitor like these three. My first NPC show, I went to watch my brother. It was in 1998 at the Emerald Cup. I started judging in 2006. I was working at Gold's Gym. I like being fit. And John Lindsay asked me to test judge in 2006. And I've been judging since then. I judged my first Olympia in 2019. And I was the first judge of the NPC to get out of United States to judge the first NPC worldwide event in Tunisia in 2018. So yeah, I'm very blessed. I'm very honored, and it's a great privilege to be part of it. I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome. The
And bro,
guest
now,
poser.
and you got one more accolade to add. You are now number 162.
162.
And you actually got invited to judge the Sean Ray Hawaiian Classic last year, and we'll see you again in November.
Absolutely.
Done.
Absolutely.
Bob
Guys,
got the invite too.
yes, I have judged a lot of shows. And I must say, I judged the Sean Ray Hawaiian Classic, and I changed my plane ticket, and I stayed one extra day. I got a room at the Moana Surfer, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
even my wife said, she said, babe, enjoy Hawaii. You've worked so hard this year.
True.
I had gone to India. I had gone everywhere. I stayed one day. Guys, to do a bodybuilding show in Hawaii is incredible. And I'm going to be in Hawaii again, judging this show. You also have to be in Atlanta for the Linda Murray Super Show. It's an awesome show. It's going to be amazing. But guys, it's going to be a huge celebration. Congratulations to the entire organization. And this is going to be quite telling, including the guest posing, where we're going to see Samson Dauda next to Keon Pearson. That's going to be interesting. Where we're going to see Ramon Dino next to Mike Sommerfeld. Who is the next in line to take it from C-Bum? All that in the guest posing. My name is Tarek El-Guindy with the Mr. Olympia. I want to thank the superstars, 8 times Miss Olympia, Linda Murray. I also want to thank my co-host for Olympia TV. He's the master of ceremony for the Mr. Olympia, the voice of bodybuilding, and the 2000 Mr. USA's Bob Ciccarillo. And I want to thank my other co-host at Olympia TV, Sean Ray. This guy is a national champion, Arnold Classic champion, Ironman champion, and one of the greatest bodybuilders of all times. Guys, I will see you in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is going to be one for the ages. Linda Murray, myself, and Sean Ray, we're going to be reporting from Pittsburgh for Olympia TV. We'll see you this coming weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the year. The most prestigious night in the world of bodybuilding.